Welcome to the Radiate Wellness Podcast. I'm your host, Christy Clemens Hoffman. Each week we will discuss tools, tips, and ways to radiate your best life ever, interviewing practitioners, authors, and luminaries to help you on your path. Wellness, joy, peace, abundance. What do you want to radiate? And welcome to the Radiate Wellness Podcast. Today I'm in beautiful Geneva, Switzerland. I love this city. Sitting with my new friend, Sylvie Meynier. Did I say that right?
Yes, you did. Congratulations. Not everyone manages.
Exactly, especially as Americans. And so we're sitting in this really, really cool apartment to talk about radiating joy. And Sylvie is a soul therapist and a laughter yoga practitioner, which fascinates the hell out of me. I think it sounds like so much fun. Hi, Sylvie.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for welcoming me into your home. This is really gorgeous.
You're welcome.
Super cute.
Thanks for coming.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So I know that you and I kind of share a similar background. You were also corporate. You were also in kind of the working business world for a while.
Yes.
And then was pushed out of the nest like I was, like a baby bird, right? And then said, heck with it, I'm going to do what I want. Mm-hmm. And so your branding is kind of the Laughing Butterfly. Can you tell us just a bit about Laughing Butterfly and what that is about?
So it's actually a funny story because I was working with a business coach when I wanted to start my business, and it's the name that just came to me. And of course, the butterfly is the metaphor of the transformation, the metamorphosis, of course. But I also have this like big laughter that for a long time I wasn't sure if it was good or bad because, you know, in a way, people tell you how great it is to hear you laugh and it's very contagious and you can hear me like 100 meters away and that's great, blah, blah. But we also live in Switzerland where, you know, I got shushed in like theater or on trains because my laughter was really loud.
People are really kind of quiet around here.
Yeah, they can be. So, and actually one night I was attending a women's circle and it was lots of practices, but at the end we got to choose a card. And the card I picked that day, I will always remember, was "Your laughter is a gift." And I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna, take that name,
embrace it.
Yeah, and actually, the laughter yoga, I didn't even know it existed at the time. Mm-hmm. I found out years later, and so obviously when I heard there is such thing as laughter yoga, I was like, well, I got to train for that.
Laughter and yoga.
Yeah.
What?
But so the Laughing Butterfly, the idea is really to help people transform and reconnect to their soul by following joy, because I think we don't give enough credit to joy. Joy is so much more spiritual than we assume. I mean, real joy that comes from inside and following, as you were saying, do what you love. Really, that's your calling. So I know sometimes in society it's hard to embrace because we feel obligated to do so many other things, but really if you go back to you and you ask yourself what brings me joy, then that's the way to go. That's the step you should follow. So
exactly. We've talked about joy and happiness a couple of times in this podcast with some other guests, and it's it's this concept of joy. It's not just like this kind of silly, you slap on a smile and you paste it over what you've got going on. It's something more than that. So what does joy mean to you?
Well, it can be many things, but for me, it's like, it's connection, I think. Connection to you and connection to others on so many levels. But it can be, like connecting to nature. For instance, I know, like yesterday, there was this beautiful rainbow in Geneva. I got out of the office and I see this. I'm like, wow, that's amazing. And I see all these people like walking, looking at their phone, and I'm like, look up. Nature is amazing. So it's like, joy can be like in little things or in a deep conversation with a friend. It can be so many things. But it's something deep. And as you say, for me, it's not about like pretending you're joyful when you're not.
Right.
We all have like sad moments, angry moments, moments where we are really scared, and that's okay too. That's part of life. But then all these difficult emotions are actually asking us to look at ourselves and see, okay, what do I need here? What do I need to go back to joy? What are my needs? What do I want to do? And because usually when we feel bad, it means that we have something to learn, or we're off track from our life path.
Oh, absolutely. I love it. And so you found laughter yoga as one of your many, many tools.
Yes.
So what the heck is laughter yoga? Is it like a laughing down dog or something?
Yeah. So it's a good question, because a lot of people ask me that when I talk about teaching laughter yoga, because there is the word yoga in it, but we don't do any yoga postures actually.
I think people would laugh if they saw me doing yoga.
Yeah.
So.
Maybe, I don't know. Normally you don't look at other people doing yoga. Yoga is an inward practice. But anyway. But I think the name is yoga is really used in like its original meaning, which is like the union of, the body, the breath, the spirit, the mind. Yeah. So it's not about the poses or the postures. It's about connecting back to yourself. And the part that looks or could feel like yoga is the breathing that we use between the exercises, which is a really like deep breathing to really expand your diaphragm. And then at the end of a session, normally you would do like also a deep relaxation. But the idea is really to reconnect every level of your soul. So the body, the mind, the emotions, and laughter is so powerful because you really are in the present moment and you start releasing stuff without like thinking about it if you let go.
You cannot not be in the present moment when you're laughing.
So laughter yoga was created about 20 years ago in India, actually.
Of course. Wasn't there one yogi in particular who was known for that? Let's say there's some videos about that.
A yogi, I don't know, but so the guy who created it is was a doctor. I mean, he is still alive. He's a doctor. He's a cardiologist, and his intention at first was to study the benefits of laughter on the cardiovascular system. So that's what he did for a while by actually telling jokes, and then after a while, to complete his survey, he didn't have more jokes to tell. So with his colleagues, they decided that they could try to laugh for no reason, just fake it till you make it, right?
Yeah.
And they realized, like as we know now with like neuroscience and stuff, that the brain doesn't really make
the difference.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't know if what you're doing is real or if you're faking it. Like, when I always give this example to people of either, if you're stressing about the future, you believe it's real because you have all the physical reactions, but it's not. So it's the same with joy and laughter. You can fake it. So basically a session you would start laughing for no reason, and the instructor is the one who is supposed to lead the group and show how you can do it by taking very like normal daily situations, like you're on the bus, you're late for work, you're stuck in an elevator, anything really, and then with the group dynamic, with eye contacts and other like kind of games to create the connection. By laughing, seeing people laughing, your laughter becomes more natural.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah. And what did I want to say? Yeah. So, but to get all the benefits of laughter, which I can explain after, you need to laugh for at least 10 minutes in a row.
Wow.
And you need to laugh in a very loud way, and really like heartfully if you want. So from really again coming from not laugh from the jaw, but really from the belly, from the diaphragm. And in real life, when do you ever laugh 10 minutes in a row, unless you have really good friends that you see every week and it doesn't really happen.
Funny. And that's a long time, 10 minutes.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh my gosh, you'd feel like you've done your abdominal crunches, you get your cardio in.
Yeah. So actually, so that's one of the benefits is like,
is it really?
It's physical health. So of course, if you do that even once a week, it's like a good ab workout, as you just said. Also like for your cardio system, but also like the muscles on your face and your jaw. When you're stressed, you often Really, your teeth are really tight, so that's a good way to release the tension here. So that's like the physical. It also like lowers blood pressure. So that's
Does it really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's the physical aspect, and then of course, so you get like more oxygen in your brain, so you'll become like more productive, which is why laughter yoga is popular in companies, because it's one way of getting the energy of people going and becoming more productive, more creative. And of course, the good mood. I mean, you'll have endorphins for like 48 hours running in your system.
Nice.
You'll be smiling for no reason, which might be normal in the US, but here in Geneva, it's like, why are you smiling? What's wrong with you?
What are you planning?
So, of course, stress release, emotions that, you might know about or you might don't even know about, that can be in the subconscious, will also be released. It's really good for social contact. If you're shy, or even if you're not shy but you have a hard time like meeting people, it's really nice to break the ice and really be okay with who you are, and making fun of yourself, and letting go of any judgment you might have about yourself or others, and just having fun. Really connecting back to playfulness and the kid inside us, really, because kids, until we tell them it's not okay to scream, laugh, and cry in public, they do that like automatically, because it's the best way to process your emotion.
Oh, absolutely.
You take them in, you express them, and they're gone. As adults, we take them in and we pretend they're not there, and we bury them down, and then one day they just explode in your face. So laughter yoga is a way to release that, and it's also very good for anger. When you get irritated or frustrated with little things, after a while. I remember I always talk about traffic jam, that if you're stuck in traffic, you really get annoyed. But if you really practice laughter yoga regularly, after a while you don't care anymore. You're just behind your wheel and you're laughing, because what are you going to do?
Exactly.
So
somebody once said laying on your horn when you're in traffic jam is like screaming at your shoes when they're tied together. It's not going to help anything.
No point. I dream of a day when they do instead of having these horrible sounds that are awful for everyone and just increase tension, they should send some kind of home vibration to calm people, and
a little clown horn.
Something different, because this is not helping.
No, it's not helping. It's just making everybody stressed out. Well, you talked about team building, and I know you do corporate events and you work with large corporations and bringing this laughter yoga. I can imagine it being a bonding experience.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's very interesting because it's a different form of interaction, and it's nonverbal, obviously. So it really helps with improving communication, actually, and having a lighter kind of environment, and really connecting through also the eye contact is quite interesting, and because we do eye contact during the sessions. I always tell people, when we do the warm up, I say, okay, we're gonna start by walking around and just smiling and looking at other people in the eyes. Stop looking at your feet. Don't look at the sky. Really and that's already something that people are not necessarily used to doing. So that's already there is something that's working, because we say the eyes are the door of the soul, right?
Yes.
So it's very powerful.
Right. I can imagine. Well, and I think the laughing is the great equalizer. It makes everybody equal. CEO and the receptionist are on the level playing ground. And then I don't know if this is what people do here, but I know that back home in the States, a lot of women especially, they'll laugh and go, they cover their face, they look away, they don't want to see people laughing, because their expression is I know when I laugh, my face gets red and my face gets blotchy, but I don't care. But a lot of people do.
Good for you.
Right?
And that's how it should be.
Yeah, but some people, the expression ugly crying. Well, some people feel like they've got ugly laughter. So I can imagine just giving them space.
Yeah, so that's the idea of having a session, because sometimes you're but why do you need to have a proper session of laughter? Why can't you just laugh? And you can, but it's not quite the same, because as I said, it's you need quite a long time to get the whole the benefits.
Right.
And you need to laugh loudly, and as you said, on the bus or in the street, you might, like refrain what you really want to,
Right.
how you really want to laugh. And what else? What did I want to say? Now I forgot.
That's okay.
Anyway.
I can imagine that there's a huge release of endorphins
Yes.
when you connect with laughter.
Yeah. So
That's gotta be
when
beneficial.
I started teaching laughter yoga, I was trained here in Geneva, but by a person who lives in Northern Ireland, and I mean she is amazing. And there were 5 of us, and then we decided to get started to also like gain confidence in teaching it. We would teach together, and we started doing it in the evenings. And I remember, so at the end you have like a relaxation to help people ground and calm down a little bit. But we were like, as the facilitators, you stay on fire, and I remember like I couldn't go to bed because I felt so energized and so happy and so excited, and it's really powerful, and it lasts for at least 48 hours, so it can really make a difference, in how you feel about everything.
Right. Oh my gosh, I can imagine. I mean, I would imagine in kind of group therapy settings that would be wonderful. In hospice care settings, in grief counseling, grief settings. I mean, all of these different settings could be really powerful.
Yeah. I mean, it's basically bringing lightness of being, and things that might not be funny, but it really helps with making things a bit lighter. And they do it in what do you call it, retirement homes, for old people, and also hospitals, and I've used it in other kinds of workshops where I don't say that I'm going to do laughter yoga, because there is also this. I mean, now people are more open to it, I would say. I think because I don't know how it is in the US, but I know in England and Northern Europe, they were more open, and it was easy to get into companies and even public people to do it. In Geneva, I think it's opening up now, because meditation in a way has become so mainstream that people are ready to try other things that are maybe a bit weird, or they are curious and they're more open. And so now laughter is finally
it's catching on.
It's catching on, exactly. So that's good news, because you can do it in any kind of settings, really.
You don't need any special equipment, you don't need the blocks or the props or anything, you don't need special clothing, you don't need your mat.
No, you don't need anything. You just need you.
Your body.
I mean, me, but
There's a whole facilitation process, apparently. There's a training process. And so what does it take to become a certified laughter yoga practitioner or leader? So
the first level to just lead workshops is a 2-day training, which, I mean, you can do anywhere, I think. Now they have people who teach it anywhere. Of course, if you want to learn from the master, you go to India with Madame Kataria, who is really, still alive and leads session with thousands of people in the street. I mean, that's amazing.
Wow.
But it's a 2-day training course where basically you learn all about the benefits and all kinds of exercises that you can do, from daily situations to really silly stuff, because really the idea is to connect to your silliness, and also the different steps. Also the benefits, but also the warnings. So for people, so they say it's not really recommended for women who are in the early stage of pregnancy. It's like any fitness exercise, workout. You need to know your body and your health, and of course, if you're pregnant, well, the ab workout can, if you really play the game. So if it's a later stage of pregnancy, normally it's fine, but it's also like in yoga, it's for you to know, how am I feeling? How is my body? Can I laugh more? And if you do it with older people, of course you would be careful to say, okay, you laugh as loud as you want, but you can also, when you feel like you're out of breath or you feel any pain, you need to stop. So, for instance, do laughter yoga like a week after you had surgery. I mean, these are like common sense, right?
Yeah,
but
exactly.
it's important that also people take it seriously, like it's a serious workout, and that's why we do breaks with like deep breathing between the exercises, because if you really play the game and go along and let everything go, then you laugh really loud, and that's it's a lot of energy. So
exactly, it is. You feel it in your abs, etc.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Christy. I just want to say that we here at Radiate Wellness hope you are enjoying this podcast. It's free to you, and we hope that you find it informative and inspirational. Heck, even fun. We have just 3 small asks of you to help us radiate growth. First, please hit the subscribe button on whatever platform you're listening on. That way, you'll receive a notification every time that we have a new podcast episode out. Next, please give us a thumbs up, a like, or a 5-star review. If you're feeling inspired, a positive review wouldn't hurt. These 2 small things will help others find us when they're searching for great podcasts. Finally, please tell your friends about the Radiate Wellness podcast. Better yet, show them how to find us and how to subscribe. If everyone did that, we would double our audience. Thanks a lot. We really appreciate it. So we were just, you were just mentioning how you get certified. So there's the 2-day certification, like how to lead the workshop, what the exercises are, what this is, what are the benefits and all of that stuff. Mm-hmm. So then what's involved after that?
Actually, to be honest, I don't know because I haven't. I mean, that's all I've done. But I think there are 2 or 3 levels, and then level after would be to train leaders.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know actually. So.
Right. But laughter, like I was saying, is a great equalizer, and you really can't be angry, as you were saying. You can't be angry. You can't be in a negative frame of mind when you're doing this. I know for kids, I teach a lot of kids, and if they're getting grumpy, if they're getting cross, I'll just say, hey, drop and give me 5 things you're grateful for, and that gets them right out of it, because you can't. Again, when you're in this positive frame of mind, you can't be negative. Mm-hmm. Right? Okay, so with the laughter, you also do coaching, soul transformation, soul therapy.
Yeah.
Which is, man, that seems huge.
Yeah.
Huge. Okay, so what's your take on this soul therapy? How did you find that that's what you wanted to do?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I think it's a process. I mean, it didn't come like this. I mean, I think it's hard to find a name for yourself, but it's true that, nowadays there are so many people who call themselves coaches, and that's fine, but I don't resonate with that term, because I realize that for me, we are everybody's unique, and we're all exceptionals, and we all have some potential, some talent. But I really believe in the soul, the decision of the soul to come and incarnate into somebody, and that your life path is connected to that. And people are really looking for meaning in their life, and I teach them how to create that and how to find joy. And I think if you work, which I do in on multi-levels, because we have a physical body, we have a powerful mind, we also are intuitive beings, we have the energy inside us and around us, we are spiritual beings. There are so many levels to us, but they all put together, they create the soul. And the soul calling is, I think, why we are here. And we need to work on all levels, but then when we do that, we manage to reconnect with our soul. And it sounds huge, but actually it's not. It's very simple. Mm-hmm. And again, it's what I was saying at the beginning, is finding what brings you joy. Because a lot of people, and I used to be like that, want to change the world, save other people, and it's all great. The intention is nice, but you need to take care of yourself first. And joy, what brings you joy is what is going to fill you up, fill your energy, and then you can give others. And that's where your purpose is. It's not, if you like cooking, then cook and find a way to give meaning to that if you want to support other people. But don't go and do something else that doesn't bring you joy. So it's really reconnected to your talents, to your soul's desires.
Right. I mean, because we all have things that we enjoy doing. And sometimes we put those on the back burner thinking we have to go out and make money. We have to go and do these big things. We have to get the next position, the next advancement, rather than doing what we really enjoy doing.
Yeah, and so I actually work with people who go on burnout because of that. Because, of course, maybe you're somebody who wants to have a big career, and that's fine. But again, it's about following the career that you really want, not the one that you were told you should do or have. Like I'm always impressed when I talk to people, when you ask them, so what did you want to do when you were a kid? And what they're doing is completely different. And actually, if you listen to that kid, that desire is still there. And people who maybe didn't know what they wanted to do as a kid, at some point you still have to choose a field of study, which I remember I did, and I was really pressured by my parents and my school teachers to do something that was fine, but it wasn't my calling. I wanted to study psychology, and I was told, no, you can't do that. It's not really medicine. It's crap. I heard all this kind of stuff.
Really?
So I went into studying languages, literature, and that's fine because I love writing and teaching and stuff. But that wasn't my calling.
No.
And now I've studied some psychology and other healing tools because that's really what I love and what I love learning and teaching. So in the end, I came back to that. So it's really important to listen to that calling and to follow it no matter what. And I know it's hard. I've been through all that process, and I still am sometimes. What you were saying about money. Yeah, we need to make money, but I think I really believe that money will come once you're aligned, and if you're really doing what you're meant to be doing, money will come. And sometimes we go through phases of lack or fear of lack, and I think it's also a process. It's there is something to learn here. For me, I know when I went through that stage, it was learning to ask for help, which I used to be very bad at. I'm better, but because I'm a helper, so it's like I want to help others, but it's learning and receiving. So the lesson was, okay, ask for support. You have support all around. So
exactly. So many times these people who have such a hard time asking for help and asking for support, well, then something happens that forces them to. They break their leg or they have to get a major surgery. Right? And then you have to learn that lesson of being supported and asking for help and asking for what you need. So, I can identify with the burnout because, having been in a corporate job before and in a place that was really, really stressful. And I know you've been through that as well. Yes.
So I had a burnout 11 years ago now. I never remember 11 or 12 years ago. A long time ago. When burnout was still not so common, or the word was just been, we're starting to hear about it, but we didn't really know. It wasn't really taken seriously. So I'm actually glad in a way, because the WHO officially said that burnout is a disease, and just last week. So
the WHO did, World Health Organization.
So it's been recognized now, and it's kind of somebody was saying, it's an epidemic nowadays. You hear everyone has had burnout or knows somebody who does, and I think it's very interesting. Like it's a very difficult things to go through, but at the same time, it shows that we are in this amazing period of transition where, there is the crisis on like the individual level and the collective level. And our society, the way we are, the jobs we have, the things we buy, what our choices, what we do are all questioned because the planet is dying because of us. So, it's, and I think everything for me is connected, and we need to work on all levels. So for me, I work on the individual level because I think companies and the corporate world and big organizations, they need to rethink how they do the collective, the communication, the management, the system, and there are people who do that, and I'm really happy that things are starting to catch up in companies and all. But I also think that it's easy in a way to blame everything on the organization.
Right.
Just like the organization, sometimes some people are in denial and they say it's the individual that's, at stake and is responsible, and people are being called weak and all. And none of that is true. It's like it's like in a relationship, if we are in a relationship, whether it's friendship or a romantic relationship, it's not just one person's fault or responsibility. It's a 50% thing. So organizations need to take their responsibility. The society needs to take responsibility, and the individual also needs to look at themselves and see, okay, but what am I doing? I mean, why am I in this job? Am I expressing my needs? Do I know my needs? Am I setting the right boundaries? Am I trying to be perfect when, perfection doesn't exist? So am I doing things that, bring me joy? Or why am I so tired? Because really, if you go back to joy is so powerful, because when you do something that brings you joy, you get more energy. So everything is connected. Then you can, do more, or you feel nourished, and you can help others.
Exactly.
And so sometimes you just put everybody's needs before you. So your boss's needs, your colleagues' needs, but also we talk less of that, but the family burnout, the parental burnout is huge.
That is huge.
Mothers would just give everything to their family, they never have time for themselves. So they kind of become zombies. They are surviving. They're not really living. So,
and the episode of this podcast, just a couple of episodes before this one is going to come out, is a mom coach.
Nice.
Who helps moms with burnout and has 11 hacks for helping moms avoid burnout.
Yeah.
I mean, because that's real. And this is kind of another passion that you have currently, finding out about suicide.
Yes. Well, it's kind of something that's, I've been thinking about for a long time. And I had a friend who attempted suicide a couple of months ago, and I was like, wow, it's very interesting, and I'm glad that he reached out to me and other people. But because I was like, well, it means that, he feels safe enough to reach out. But I was wondering how many people have this kind of community and support, and also how many of my friends I've been thinking about it at least once in their life, because I know I've had. I mean, when I was in my dark period, for sure. I mean, I remember even like writing letters to my parents, my friends, to say goodbye. So I never did it, but I thought about it, and I realized that it seems like it's very taboo. It's very difficult to open the conversation. And I don't know exactly why. I have some ideas, but I want to interview people to find out why. So my project right now is still at the beginning, but it's to start talking about it more and ask people, when you ask somebody, how are you? And you don't even listen to the answer.
Right.
It's really like, but really, how are you? What's going on in your life now? And maybe the person is really having a great time and fantastic, but they might also be struggling. And I think we need to share more of our struggles, because we all pretend sometimes that, everything is great when we're going through a rough patch. And by just, putting it out there, well, actually, I'm okay, but I'm struggling with this, and I find this difficult, blah, blah. And asking people and telling people you are there, because I feel like sometimes people are afraid, okay, but if I ask that person, do you want to die or something? You're afraid of what they're going to say yes, and then you don't know what to say. But what you have to say is just, I'm there for you, and I also struggle. And by sharing that already makes things, things are out, and it's already a release. And so already the pressure. So it's not so complicated, and it's not so difficult. But I know social media, for instance, is really not helping with that. And I think we can find ways to use social media to help with that, because it's we all post about our beautiful weekend and holidays and how much fun we have, and that's great. But when you're not feeling so good and you see all of that, you start wondering, oh, am I normal? Why am I so unhappy? Everybody else seems to be so happy. But it's all bullshit.
It is, right?
And everybody's kind of feeling that way in their own corner. So if you dare putting out there, well, actually today I'm having a bad day, I'm thinking about such and such thing, and I'm really suffering. then it allows people to feel that they're not the only ones, because
Absolutely.
it's normal to go like this in life. You have ups and downs, and but if you feel like you're the only one having downs, then you
feel isolated.
You feel isolated,
Absolutely.
and we need to bring back the community, the connection. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I think suicide, I mean, gosh, I hate to go from joy to suicide, but I feel like it's an epidemic.
yeah.
And especially among the younger people.
Yes, yeah, because again, I think at a societal level, it's we've lost like the community, we've lost the meaning. You know, we go into these jobs that don't mean anything, and also like if you are a young person right now, you're being educated and trained for a job that may not exist anymore in 10 or 20 years. So what's the point?
Right.
So it's very complicated, I think, and we really need to support one another and to bring back the sense of community and connection.
Right, which is what you're doing in your coaching.
Yeah.
You know, affecting one person at a time.
Absolutely. Yeah.
To build that consciousness and build that awareness in.
Yeah, and I believe in, I believe in the power of little things, because you can have ambition and, want to do like a conference in front of thousands of people, and that's great. I mean, if you think that you can get a message out there, then please go for it. But I also believe in the power of little things, and just smiling at someone on the bus might actually make a difference in their day. So you don't have to be a healer. You can be a healer if that's what you're called to do. But I was saying before, if you like cooking, it's just maybe just invite a few friends over for dinner, and if you know somebody is feeling lonely, then that can change everything. And by impacting one person, you don't know what that person is going to do next. They might impact somebody else, who will impact somebody else.
Exactly.
And so it's like a wave of light, and it's very important. And we do underestimate that, because we also have this belief that, and especially with people who have burnout or mothers, we don't do enough, we're not enough.
Exactly.
It's not true. If you do something with like real joy and intention, and because it brings you joy as well, then people will feel that and be impacted, and that's really powerful.
That's super powerful.
Yes.
Well, Sylvie and I met actually through this Facebook group.
Yes.
With holistic practitioners here in the Geneva area. It's an amazing group of women, and I'm not sure if there are men. There may be men, but
I don't think so. But maybe men who are open to be called fairies. That's possible. Yeah?
Sure, wellness fairies.
They are welcome, I think.
I'd welcome them. But then on the Wellness Fairies Facebook page, you issued a challenge.
Yes.
Can you talk about that?
Yeah. So a
fun one.
Yeah, I wanted to bring laughter in our daily lives, because, as we said, we don't laugh often or often enough or natural enough. So I challenged the group of fairies to post videos of themselves laughing and share it with the group, because I think when you see someone laughing, it's contagious. So we started doing that a bit. I think everyone is a bit shy, which, as you were saying before, but laughing like this, it's fine. I mean, it's just a trial run, I would say. But I feel like for me, my next step is really to bring that out there in the street with a way to connect people. So I've done laughter flash mobs on trams and buses, but I was always with a group of people, and I'm thinking, maybe I should try to do it on my own, and really grab a few people in the street and say, okay, let's laugh together, like you would do also, like let's dance together, just like 2 minutes to bring some kind of joy. And it's easier in now in the summer than in winter.
People are out,
and also people are the sun really helps. Also people are more like talking to each other, and it's a bit like there's less of a barrier. So if we can embrace that while it's here and help it spread, that'd be really awesome.
Well, like you were saying, you never know what difference it's going to make for somebody. Somebody could watch one of our videos and really just get a chuckle out of it, and then that makes their day, and then they go around and spread that joy. And
absolutely,
you don't know.
Yeah, you don't know, and that's the other thing which I've been learning also over time is, let go of expectations or results. Just do it. And that's why you should do it, because it brings you joy. That's the key.
Exactly.
Not, of course, having the intention to impact people is great, but you don't know what's going to happen. It might be amazing. It might be, not really work. It's fine. But as long as you have fun already, it's like, it's a gift. So.
Oh, yeah. And it can touch somebody else. You never know. Yeah. But I have to say, we met up at the cafe with a couple of other fairies and just had the best time. I tell you, just looking at you made me start laughing.
That's good. Yeah, I was on fire that day. I was really like...
You were really out there. Oh, I got so much fun. Oh, and I remember my cheeks hurt in a good way.
That's good. Yeah.
Well, so we've been talking about quite a lot. Is there anything that we've not mentioned? Anything you think that is important to mention? Anything to get out there?
Yeah,
that you think?
I think for anyone who is listening and who is struggling right now, I hear you. I feel you. I've been there, and don't deny it. Talk to your friends. Talk to a therapist. Reach out. Seek for help, because there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And I know when you're in the tunnel, you're like, you don't believe in anything, but life is really ups and downs all the time, and there's always a new level, and really, I assure you, it's worth it, connecting to yourself and reaching out, and please do yes, absolutely, please reach out. Well, Sylvie, it's been a true pleasure. Your English is amazing, and your joy is infectious. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Your
so
podcasts
much.
are amazing.
Well, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Radiate Wellness is a community of holistic and alternative healers and consultants based in the Kansas City area, dedicated to helping you create spiritual, energetic, and physical well-being. To learn more about our practitioners, services, classes, and events, or to schedule an appointment, visit us at radiatewellnesscommunity.com.